welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How you doing out there? Hope you're having a good day. All is good. Still working on that. Got to fix that there. Hey, welcome to our show. We call it the Closing Beat. We are financial advisors here at Jazz Wealth. We do this show every day just to kind of show you what we're looking at, show you what we do here, and look at for our customers. We manage our own funds. You can see those on our website. And just a serious thank you to all of you who have given us a shot and have worked with us, transferred your accounts and everything. Means a lot to us, right? We're a small company. We get it. We're growing rapidly, but it's hard to trust something. So I appreciate all of you giving us a shot. If you're working with a financial advisor and they're just not there, not helping you, you're not getting that attention, well, I hope you'll consider us at Jazz Wealth. But in the meantime, I'll teach you something new here with the show today. We got a lot of good things to cover, and we'll start with the stock market. Before I do that, actually, no show on Friday. And also the stock market's closed on Monday. It's going to be a 4-day week as far as the show goes. So just a heads up there. Anyways, let's get started with the stock market. Kind of an interesting day today. The Dow and the S&P off to the right-hand side of your screen there, you can actually see pretty much competed all day long for first place. It was rather interesting because Apple was weak all day long. If we go over to the charts here and take a look, we've got the S&P making new all-time highs there, obviously on a great win streak there, which is, if you saw our FinTips video, actually very common for the beginning of September. We're sitting at new highs there. The S&P would have easily been the best performing index for the day if it weren't for Apple. See, Apple, there you go. Apple was down about 2% on the day, and in the S&P, Apple makes up 7%. In the Dow, Apple makes up now only 3%. It did make up 12%, but since they split there, Apple now makes up only 3%. So that's why you had the S&P just kind of right there. It had a little bit of drag to it, but all in all, a great day. You can't argue with the performance today on the S&P. At least I can't there. It was the same names in the S&P that were your biggest contributors on the day. You got your Microsoft hitting new all-time highs there. Google, there you go, Alphabet hitting new all-time highs. Great day, almost 4% on the day. Nvidia was higher on an upgrade, getting very extended here. Volume strong and everything, getting almost over that $600 mark there. Facebook almost hitting new 52-week highs. That was a good day as well. And Amazon. It's the same names that are driving the argument. However, today you had a lot more support from everybody else. We'll cover that, of course, as well. If we take a look at the Dow, we're headed back almost to these prior highs, right? We got less than 2% to get back to these prior highs. Now, what you see in the Dow is Apple can be down on the day, and it doesn't really drag on the Dow. The Dow can still get work done because Apple went from the biggest weighting in the sector down to like 15th or 16th or something like that. So even if today all the other stocks had the same day that they did and Apple was down this much pre-split, you would have seen a drag of 1/4% off the Dow. That's how big Apple really was on there. So it's kind of nice to see just a normal moving index for a while. Amgen was one of the big leaders today. Healthcare, very interesting area. We'll cover that in our sector breakdown, up 3% on the day. Microsoft also going to be one of the leaders there. And United Healthcare, almost back to new 52-week highs. Many stocks in the Dow did well today. I'm just highlighting a few of them there to go with you. You got the NASDAQ there, still up over 40% year to date, looking good, but it's going to be Apple and Tesla were your drags today. We already know about Apple. If you look at Tesla, that had a wild day today, a lot of profit taking there as it is extended. We've said that a million times. I don't need to tell you something new there. You know what's going on with Tesla there. Still profit taking, all in the short term there. So with that in mind, you had the NASDAQ dragging behind just a little bit because of those big names like that. So that's what you have going on there. Hey, our FinTips video this week, we got on Monday, Dow changes and Apple statistics to show you how extended it really was and kind of quantify that versus just have an opinion. Today we did September's historical performance, showed you that in a number of different ways. I'll also include some more information in our Notes from Jazz email this weekend going out there. Super geeky video for us today on our YouTube channel there if you want to check it out. Wine and Wealth tomorrow, if you're going to join us, is going to be on performance around the election depending on who wins, who maybe keeps office, who gets kicked out, and there's a new opposite party that takes over. So we're going to go over all kinds of interesting things there. I don't know why that's doing that. That's really weird. There's something else cutting in there. It's like a commercial of some kind. Anyways, Wine and Wealth is going to be really cool in that aspect. What do we expect right around the election, no matter who wins, what's best case, worst case, average case, median case? Then we're going to look further out in time and say, what happens if Democrats take over from a Republican? Does the markets do better? If the Republican keeps the White House, Does that turn out to be better? What are we looking at there? So we're going to cover that in our Wine and Wealth class. It's going to be super geeky there. In our research site, jazzwealth.com/research, we went through all kinds of geeky stuff over the last couple of days. I hope you'll check it out if you're interested in doing that. Wow, lights look horrible today, man. It's a dark day here in Florida as it rains. Let's go over to the sector breakdown, take a look and see what's going on there. So we'll start with the consumer staples. Oh, there we go. Consumer staples. Very good. Hitting new 52-week highs today. Very strong day, up 2%. Wasn't the best performing sector overall, but I'll use the XLP to show you here. It was led by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was one of your leaders today. Very interesting. We own the stock. We've been very patiently holding the stock there. You also got Pepsi waking up today, moving outside of this sideways range here, headed back to new highs. And Procter & Gamble, one of the leaders in the consumer staples sector there. Over 3/4 of the gains came from those three names. Now, Coca-Cola falls into the beverage category. So if you're not familiar with this, you notice how I always start with the stock market. I go down to sectors, and then if we have to go further, we'll go to the industries or stocks. That's the breakdown of, like, it's called top-down analysis. You start with the index, how'd they do? Okay, what drove the indices? Look at the sectors. Okay, inside the sectors, what industries drove the sectors? And then beyond that, you can look at individual stocks. Well, one thing that's interesting is your beverage stocks have been a laggard inside the consumer staples. So let's go over and take a look at that. So consumer staples obviously is doing really well, but it's definitely a stock pickers type sector. You've heard me say that before. Let's take a look. So in the consumer staples, there's a handful of different industries, and this is kind of the lesson of the day here for you. The beverage sector, which is your Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Monster, things like that, Fizz is in the mix as well, has only been up 1% year to date. This is prior to today. And so the action is in your food staples, retailers, things like that, Kroger and the like, right? The sector is up 7.2%, and so most areas are underperforming. In fact, tobacco, Philip Morris, Altria, things like that, they've been underperforming. So if you were to just buy the sector, yeah, you're doing good, it's fine. But if you were to buy the sector X tobacco, meaning take out tobacco or beverages, up until today, you've been doing much better than the sector. Rather interesting way to look at it there. The couple underperforming areas, food products, personal products, beverages, and of course tobacco. And I just wanted to highlight how that's actually a bit of a difference in this sector. It's like financials. Remember when we went through financials and we talked about the fact that the exchanges were the ones that were doing well. The banking stocks were not. All right, moving on to healthcare. We broke out. This healthcare's teasing us, man. I've been saying this past couple days. Back and forth, back and forth. You don't like to see it go back and forth. Today, it finally put a stamp in the mark there for the bulls. Up 2% on the day. One of the better performing sectors there. Back to new highs. Very nice reversal, and a couple stocks had very nice reversals as well. I'll point out Johnson & Johnson. Look at that. Yesterday's pullback completely erased. You love to see that, up 1.5% on the day. I want to point out Merck, very nice reversal there. If you own the stock, you're not doing anything with it. You're holding on tight. That's a good reversal for that stock. You're happy to see that. And Abbott Labs, we happen to own this one here. It broke out there. It was obviously very exciting one day, but pulled back. Now you've got people showing you they're interested in buying this in a big way. You're very happy to see that if you own the stock. That's the healthcare space today, very strong. Looking over at financials, they woke up a little bit today too. All of the majors were higher today. Majors meaning like JP Morgan, Bank of America, your Goldman Sachs, things like that. So when you look at financials there, strong day, almost back over the 200-day. Even Wells Fargo got into the mix today, and that is one of the more beaten down stocks in the financials category there, financial sector, but did well. Financials, you can't complain today, 1.4% on the day. Communication services hitting new 52-week highs, now up over 20% year to date. Twitter was going to be your leader today. Great day for Twitter. We own this one, so we're happy to see that. But up 6% on the day, headed back to 52-week highs. You're going to need to be over $46 to get there. We already mentioned Google, G-O-O-G-L, hitting new 52-week highs as well. Very helpful. Facebook, always one when that's strong. Consumer staples, usually strong. But let's go outside the box. We're doing that today. Verizon, good day for Verizon. That's a big move for that stock. Normally very slow, quiet, sleepy, looking good. I don't know where this goes from here, but very nice, right? So a good day, 2.3%. And I also want to point out Charter Communications. There you go, hitting new 52-week highs. There's other names in the communication services to look at. I think there's only like 27 stocks in this sector, so it's not a lot of work to take a look inside of there, but I would go over and take a look at some of those names. Very, very strong, and a great day, of course, overall. Let's go to new highs, new lows for the day, see what we got there, because you got a record, man. Our little scroller's going to work today. 82 new highs, and only 9 of those names closed in the negative for the day. Apple was your biggest loser out of the ones that did hit new highs. It gapped up there, it hit new 52-week highs. and sold off just a little bit. 34 of those stocks today gained over 2%. So broad participation, many sectors supported there. I'll go over a couple stocks. Sherwin-Williams, the one from yesterday we've been talking about, the breakout. More continuation there, 2% higher on the day. Very excited to see that. Lind, this is also a breakout one we've been watching, the gap up reversal. Go back to August 24th. Watch the closing beat. We talked about the gap up reversal being very good news for this stock and Air Products as well. Let's go to Fortune Brands here. Tiny little breakout, right? I don't know. It's up here. It's a little extended. It's been basing sideways for about 2 weeks now. Today it hit new 52-week highs, triggering a little bit of that extra volume. Not a lot of commitment there just yet, but we'll see. Church & Dwight breaking out there nice and strong, 3%. That's definitely a notable new high today, as you can see by the logo off to the side. If you don't know Church & Dwight, I'm sure you know Arm & Hammer, one of their brands. But really strong, great strong volume today, breaking out at highs. People not afraid to pay up for this stock, and it continues to be that way. We'll go on to IQVIA. There we are. Look at this. I got my cursor almost perfectly in line there. New breakout here to new highs. Very strong. Volume just a little bit above average. You got a series of higher lows, all looking good for an uptrending stock. Maybe something you don't normally look at, so I put it on there maybe just to see if something you want to dig into and see if you like it. All right, let's go over to our watch list for the day. Going to get a little geeky here with you. Here we go. There's the same stocks going up every day, and I always like to say, okay, great, let those do their thing, but let's go look for other opportunities. And yesterday I alluded to it to say there's actually a lot of good things going on. I mentioned some stocks that were performing better than Apple and some other names there just to say, feel free to look around. There's more to life than just, 7 stocks there. So what I did is I ran a scan to try to put together a list. Here's what we did. We just wanted to find stocks that are doing better than Apple on a fundamental and technical basis. So 30-day average volume is always a concern when you're going to go with a broad list, meaning we don't know if we're looking at these really thinly traded names or not. So you always start with that and say, look, 30-day average volume, give me 1 million shares, right? Just show me stocks that actually trade a little bit. So we'll go back over there and take a look. We added earnings, got to have earnings that are on par or better than Apple in terms of quarter over quarter. We said the year-to-date return it's got to be better than Apple, which is not easy to achieve there. And the 1-year return on a percentage basis has to be better than Apple as well. We also said we don't want to see stocks that are screaming at new 52-week highs, so they've got to be just under their 52-week high, within a range there. We want some opportunity. We don't want to find a bunch of stuff that we just missed and then just say, oh, what a cool move there. So we've got some names to take a look at. And I'll show you this in a couple different ways here. Camping World Stadium Camping World Holdings, Camping World Stadium's in Orlando. I'm having drum corps flashbacks there, summertime. So anyways, obviously it's off of its highs there. It's pulling back. Performance better than Apple. Overall, they're killing it, right? A lot of people, it's gotten a lot of attention lately. That one makes the list. You're going to find some names here that you don't normally hear about. Digital Turbine. Obviously, performance is really good. Trading in a really weird range right now. Maybe one you want to watch. I'll show you the data on this one in a second. We're going to go over to GSX. That's on also, I had a bad day today, actually. Down 12%. You might let that settle in a little bit. Got a little too far too fast. But the performance overall, better than Apple. Maybe it means something. Maybe it's just a backup watch list sort of thing that you follow. You've got Owens hinting at a new breakout. You can see it's just underneath there. It refuses to sell off, like our previous example there, and less expensive stock, so something maybe you want to take a look at, do some research. Stamps.com, we happen to own it. It got a little too far too fast here, and it's pulling back. This will happen to Tesla. This will happen to Apple. This will happen to all the stocks like Nvidia doing the same thing. Make no mistake about it. That is going to happen with those. This happened to Stamps a little bit early and overstock and names like that. Performance much better than Apple this year. Not something you'd probably look at normally, but coming back to the 50-day. Every other time it's come back to the 50-day here since starting this new uptrend, it has had a rather good move there, or bounce, I should say. Synopta, we've got pullback to the 20-day moving average here, sitting at highs, sort of floating around at the moment, maybe hinting at breaking out again. The volume's starting to pick back up, so maybe one for a watch list there. I don't know. Maybe something to look at. And then you got Vista Outdoor. This is a man stock right here. These guys do manly stuff, if you're not familiar with who they are. Anyways, Very good performance, performance better than Apple over the last year and year to date. It's pulling back a little bit. Maybe it's something to watch for relative strength in there somewhere. See if that's something you're interested in. And then just for fun, normally I'd tease you and see if you'd sign up for the research site, but I'll give you this one today. We're being nice. Here is the complete list of all the stocks currently performing better than Apple. This kind of stuff I like to share in the research site. Start at the top in the light gray. We've got Apple just in every column so you can see and verify that the performance is better than Apple year to date and over the 1 year there. We've already mentioned names like AMD, Tesla, Wayfair, and Zoom. You kind of know those. Those are obvious names. But what I did is I wanted to put all the stocks that meet the criteria there that maybe you've never heard of. Maybe that cause you to go look around and say, oh, hey, man, that's pretty cool. Vista Outdoor. I didn't know that they were the Camelback people, right? I didn't know that was what they do. Maybe that's interesting, something you want to look at there. It helps you dig a little deeper. So we've got year-to-date returns as of yesterday, 1 year returns as of yesterday, earnings on the mark as well, and then the volume, 30-day average volume, we're just showing that it's there, right? So we want to make sure that you're not picking on something. 30-day average volume is like 75,000 shares. That's going to make it very difficult to trade. You may find that you have a wide spread there and it gets difficult. And then off to the right, we put the percentage off the highs. So those that have that are in the green essentially are closest to making new highs. Those that are more in the red and orange, they pulled back more. So if you like the pullback stocks, you're looking for those ones that are down 14%, 20% off highs, things like that. If you like stocks that are up there, you want to play the momentum, you're looking for things like the AMD that's kind of held up as of yesterday. These slight pullbacks in here, DeSake, any of these names that have just barely held in there, that's what you want to look at. So that is our watch list for the day, maybe a little bit deeper than we normally go, but just want to show you that there's opportunity out there. You got to be willing to do a little research and dig in a little bit, but I hope you enjoyed. Did you? Okay. Good. Let's move on over to stocks in the news. I'll take a few questions. We'll get out of your way so we can fix the lights because it looks like I'm sick. I don't like that. It's a bright light. Looks sickly there. Okay, stocks in the news. Here we go. Do you see Michael Jordan taking a position there in DraftKings? That's going to be the reason that's up 8% for the day. Yeah, guess he's going back to work. H&R Block, this is the most debt-ridden company in the S&P, by the way, if you were thinking about taking a position in that one. Anyways, they had a decent day today. H&R Block actually comes out with earnings that beat by 22 cents. Revenue is a little bit weaker than expected, and I believe they're raising more debt. It's a tough one. They've got quite a bit of debt. That's the extreme of borrow money when you can, not when you have to. They really listen. Guess, obviously a retailer here. They come out with earnings that are a little bit less than, or higher than expected, but it still showed a loss of a penny a share. Sales were a little bit better than expected, and their dividend is kicking back in as well. So stock obviously higher on that one, 11%. And doing well. AMC Theaters, if you've been dying to go to the movie theaters, they got 140 locations. They're going to start to open back up. Means more they can start doing more sales. Hopefully revenues kicks in again. People go see movies safely. And you got a 16% gain for AMC. Nvidia, I already mentioned that one. They had an upgrade today. It was Bank of America. They raised their price target to $650 from $600. And well, that's probably because we're right there at 600. So we're getting awfully close to their first target. They had to raise it a little bit. You got dividends coming out today or tomorrow. Ex-dividend is today, I should have said. BlackRock, $3.63. Kimberly-Clark, $1.07. Pepsi, $1.02. Dominion, 94 cents. FedEx, 65 cents. Waste Management, 55 cents. Awesome. I love it. I'll take a chance here and try to answer some of your questions if you happen to have any. And let's see what we can do. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. You like your VTR? Cool. Yeah, I love it. Super chats. Yeah, I don't get that. Like, I mean, we can do it if you want, but maybe we could just. I think you have to pay for it. We could donate it to somebody or something if you want. I really don't know what that is. I do this thing. If I can get the stream to work and not be a mess, I'm happy. I don't need anything else. Comments on Wells Fargo. I mean, it's nice to see Wells Fargo up today. The whole sector was up. Would have been really troublesome if you find that all the majors were up today, the sector's up, the market's up, and old Wells Fargo couldn't get anything done. That would have been worrisome. So the fact that you're trying to pick on this thing a little bit down near lows, just realize you have a weak stock that's not really doing anything. Have some patience with it, but I don't blame you. Yep. Do a video on fear of missing out during strong rallies. Yep. I find it very interesting that the more we push higher, the more people say, I got to get in, I got to get in. But the more we push lower, the less people say, I got to get in, got to get in. You got to retrain the brain a little bit. But of course, everybody has their own thing there. Do you see today as a turning point for utilities? Yeah, best performing sector today, utilities overall. Tough to say because take a look. You look at the charts. Okay, one good day. This could be like healthcare. Remember, healthcare was teasing us for a while. Utilities could be teasing you. What's to say it doesn't chop around under 62 for a little bit more there? So I'd be in no hurry. I mean, I get the excitement there. Obviously, super relative strength on the day, and it's nice to see that. But I can't say safely that you think it's really waking up from here. Yep. What was that? Oh, sorry if I missed you there. Where we go? Thoughts on a correlation between realty income rents improving compared to the overall economy reopen. Does this really mean anything? I think I know what you're asking. You're not talking about one particular stock there. You're talking about in general, like residential income there. That's up in the air, right? Because there's a push now to eliminate or to push back evictions and foreclosures and stuff. I don't know how that gets done. Or if it gets done, but it's still up in the air. So you got a very volatile, potentially a very volatile arena to be playing in because one signature from the White House or whatever, and now we've got an issue again where these guys got to keep paying their mortgages, their bills, their power bills and all that, community bills, but they can't collect that rent. That's a tough one. I don't know that I want to be playing over there too aggressively. Yeah, I love it. Does this streaming start exact time every day? 5 o'clock. Yeah. If everything goes well, 5 o'clock. That is the goal, I should say. 5 o'clock Eastern time. Is there a chart pattern class that can be posted on a research site? Rising wedge, symmetrical triangles, flags, pennants, and such? Probably. Maybe that's a video we can do. In the research section, I'm committed to at least doing 2 videos a month. I always do more than that. But maybe, yeah. I would want to go a little deeper on it as to say, that a pattern is not just a pattern that you buy because of it. There's more to it. If we could somehow make it maybe a live stream or something, that might be better. Because I don't want to leave it at just like this is this pattern. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. With the housing market stronger than ever, Wells Fargo should have an uptick in Q3 earnings. Yes, but Wells Fargo actually cut back or reduced their qualification criteria. So they stopped doing home equity loans, I believe. I believe they stopped altogether. They raised their credit restrictions, meaning you had to be even more credit worthy to get a loan from them. So that means less loans, higher quality loans, but less loans at lower interest rates. So they were the first to do that. I believe they're currently one of the only majors to do that. Yeah. You pay for the stream? No, you don't have to pay for the stream. I'm not doing that. No interest in that one. Do we have any focus videos on swing trading? We do. That's a big one for our in the wine and wealth classes for our customers. It's something that when the markets are a little bit calm, I'll go to that because I know you guys are trading. I know my customers. Most customers that join us say, take the retirement, Dustin, but I got my fun stuff over here. I'm all for that. I love that, engagement. So we've done planning. We've done strategic classes on how to determine whether you're successful or not. I have a massive spreadsheet that I gave everybody to measure your trades and see if you can measure how successful you are, your batting average and win-loss ratio and all that great stuff. And in particular, like how you pick stocks for short-term, mid-term, long-term. Yeah, I'm thinking of a bunch of them now, actually. Yeah, options are in there with two or three classes. Oh, yeah. Yep. I can't do those publicly, and I honestly mean that. I don't say that to try to tease you guys. I can't do it publicly because I actually get really specific to say this is when you would buy, or yes, I think you should buy or sell, because it's I'm allowed to. I can't say it broadly because I don't know you guys. It's called know your customer rule and the suitability rule as well. Big no-no in our space. That's why you never see like financial advisors just coming out and saying, buy that stock. Oh, they won't be doing that for long if they do. Anyways, I love it. Well, I'll wrap it up there. I think we've covered it all. I'm going to get ready for our class tomorrow. Really cool class on the election performance, stock markets, kind of a look back through history from a stats perspective. You know we like the geeky stuff here. And in the meantime, I'll thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us for a little bit today. Seems like everything went well. We'll try to do this all again tomorrow with a little bit better color on the skin there so I don't look like a ugly gremlin. Was that the word the guy said? An ugly gremlin. Yeah, you little booger. I saw it. See you.